Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports here, myself Charlie. And before the video starts, to please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Nick Bull is defended his WBA featherweight title on Saturday night at the M&S Bank Arena up against American Brandon Figueroa. Bull, who is, for many, or for a while, was the flag bearer of British boxing on the world scene. There was a while where he was Britain's only world champion. We've also obviously recently had a raft of world champions come through, so he no longer holds that title. But it is worth remembering how, sort of when we were in the doldrums, he was our only champion. It's a busy weekend of sport, and somehow they've sandwiched this defence. And it's a big defence for Bull, because with the featherweight division looking how it is, we know he's been chasing the fight with the monster Naoya Inoue for a while. There's always rumours of that happening and talk of that happening. With that division being stout, we saw Bruce Carrington at the weekend going and with a devastating knockout. We've also got Mirko Cuello in there. We've got Rafael Espinoza. We've got Angelo Leo. We've got a lot of fighters in that division, Figueroa included, who are going to be looking and thinking, we want a shot at the title or unification fights. And to be honest with you, although the names aren't as big as what you'd maybe associate with the other divisions, featherweight is one of the deepest divisions in boxing. Now, I am going to say this, now really unpatriotic, because I do fear for Nick Bull in this fight. Now, there's a variety of reasons for this. One is the obvious height difference. Brandon Figueroa is a whole 7 inches tall. Now, I know they're both world-level elite fighters. I understand that. Nick Bull, he was 5'4". He's been 5'4" for as long as he can remember. Well, not as long as he can remember, but as long as he's been fighting. That's not going to change. So it's not as if it's a new idea to him fighting someone so much taller than him. But has he ever fought someone that much taller than him who's as good an operator as Figueroa? That's the question that I think on Saturday night we'll have answered. I must say, I thought his defence last time out, in fact, his last 2 fights really, have been a little bit lacklustre. He obviously fought Sam Goodman on the Italma undercard with Dillian White, sorry. I don't say he was lucky to get the decision there. He wasn't lucky, but there was, I thought, a degree of it could have gone either way. I think you could have made a reasonably solid case for Goodman winning that fight. And the same could be said, not for the TJ Doheny fight, but also the performance wasn't great. It was, I thought, very workmanlike. Figueroa, for me, represents a step up in the opposition Bull faced, probably since he faced off against Ray Ford. I think since then, he's been really facing super bantamweights. Let's be honest, you know, it's been Goodman, Doheny, and the American, whose name... Roddy Rios. Sorry, I had to take a moment there to check. So he's been facing really super bantamweights. And I think potentially that's been done quite tactically by Frank Warren. You know, sort of giving him these super bantamweights who size-wise aren't going to be able to push him around. I mean, he is a solid 5'4". He's a compact 5'4" even. He's a compact 5'4". But, you know, these guys aren't going to be able to bully him the way that Figueroa may be able to with that height and reach advantage. I know it sounds, I say, really bad of me to say, but I do fear an upset could be on the cards. If it even is an upset tomorrow for Nick Bull, which will be really disappointing, because I think if he does win this, it's early enough in the year to potentially get those mega fights. We know we're probably going to get Inoue Nakatani now. That looks like all roads are leading to that. But like I said, there are still huge fights out there. Bruce Carrington, that would be a great fight to see. Mirko Cuello is a guy I think the Twitter aficionados at the minute are really calling for to get a shot. There's a lot of fighters out there for him to potentially face. As I sort of said, or didn't say, there is obviously a raft of Scouse talent that Frank Warren has got signed up. Andrew Kane being one of them on the undercard. He faces off against Juan Gonzalez in a WBC, I believe, eliminator. I don't think it's a final eliminator, down at bantamweight. That, I think, will be an absolute war. We know what the Mexicans are like when they come over here in recent times. They are real road warriors. They won't want to give it up easy. Kane is pretty ruthless himself, and he's really fired up for this. He knows what's on the line for this fight. That's got the potential to be a real barn burner and probably go the distance as well. Brad Strand as well is on the undercard. He's a guy who he's sort of muddling his way through, I guess. There's a lot of the lower weight classes taking precedence tomorrow night, which means probably a lot of fights going to go to decisions. But if you appreciate fast-paced action, you know that's what you're going to get, and that's what you've got to enjoy. I do just fear for Nick Ball, unfortunately. But I'd love to be proven wrong because I'd love to see him in these big fights later this year. As always, guys, let us know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try to become a one-man sports news bandwagon. As always, guys, have a great day.